Hey everyone, I wanted to do something different before doing another Nirvana video, and I've picked up a few signed pieces over the last year or so I thought it might be interesting to have a look at. So, let's just jump straight in. First up, we have Kim Deal's debut solo album, Nobody Loves You More. This was released November 2024, and if you pre-ordered, you could get a signed copy, which I jumped at. It has elements of the Pixies and the Breeders and the Amps on it, but it's very much its own animal. Lots of strings, horn sections, a little bit bossa nova here and there, and the lyrics just seem a lot more personal. You've got Kelly Deal and Jim McPherson from the Breeders making appearances, and even though Kim Deal produced the album herself, a bunch of these songs were recorded by Steve Albini before his death. If you in any way like any of her bands, do yourself a favor and check this album out. It's absolutely fantastic. Next up, we've got the debut album from the Viagra Boys. This is the Rough Trade 2019 press of the album that came on clear vinyl with a bonus CD and a signed art print. So here's the Shrimp Sessions bonus CD. Here's the lyric sheet. There's the art card. Let's do that last. Here's the vinyl. I was pretty early to the Viagra Boys, and I only saw them for the first time last year in Bournemouth. And it was one of the most fun shows I've ever been to. So my card is 726 and of 1,000. And there it is, signed by the band. I'm not too sure how much I can say really about the Viagra Boys. Everyone seems to like them. For one or two people out there who don't know them, they're a Swedish band influenced by punk, post-punk, jazz, a little bit of street poetry, and they just sprinkle some really witty, dark, clever lyrics over the top of it all. Really, really fun band, and this is one of my absolute favourite records from my collection. Very cool. Next up, we've got a tour exclusive 7-inch from Gary Numan. These were made to celebrate the 45th anniversary of Replicas and the Pleasure Principle, and each one was hand signed by the man himself. There were 2,000 pressed, with 100 being available each night of the tour. Mine is 1,624 out of 2,000. Each one of these is unique and was designed so that the colours would leak. So the yellow side has some blue leaking through, and the blue side has yellow leaking through, making them completely unique. But there is a printing error. So it says recorded live at the Roundhouse in London on October the 26th of 2019. This was actually recorded the night before, on the 25th. So they had to put these cards in each one to explain away what happened. So you can just see there that this was recorded the night before. I'm not a huge Gary Numan fan, but I love his early work. And I jumped on this because I got it for a really good price. It was signed by him, and Metal is my favourite Gary Numan song. So I had to jump on it. Next up, we've got an EP and album from the Wytches. For those who don't know, the Wytches are a psychedelic surf garage rock band from Brighton. I was pretty early to the Wytches and saw a couple of their earlier shows, which is where this came from. So let's start with the EP. I picked this up for a friend who couldn't make a show at the Joiners in Southampton, and all these years later, I still have it. It was signed on the back by their original drummer and came on really cool yellow smoked vinyl. And I also have this signed CD in there as well, I got from the same show. And here is the vinyl, which looks really cool. Although I am less of a fan of the actual EP cover artwork. Then we've got the 3 Mile Ditch album. This was a pre-order. It was signed by the band for those that pre-ordered, which I did. And then when it turned up, I realised it wasn't actually signed by the band. It just came with a signed art print, which is cool, but it would have been so much better if they had just signed the album cover. I get why bands do this now, but it's just not as cool. Sign the album covers. It did come on very nice bright red vinyl, and it's a great sounding album, but I've kind of enjoyed the Wytches less and less with each album, and Annabelle Dream Reader, their first album, is still my absolute favourite. But if you've never heard them, they're well worth checking out. Next up, we've got the soundtrack to Alice Lowe's 2017 film Prevenge. Most people are going to know her from Garth Marenghi's Dark Place, but she's done loads and loads and loads of work. And I, in particular, really liked her film Sightseers. So when I saw this in my local record shop, I grabbed it immediately. The artwork for this is so cool. It's gatefold with just some of the most amazing artwork. And the record is one of my absolute favourites I own. It's called Blood and Milk vinyl. And it looks like this. Really, really cool stuff. Cover's been signed by band and Alice Lowe. And it's such a cool album. The artwork's amazing, the album's amazing, the film's amazing. If you haven't seen it, check it out. Lastly, we've got Ornamental Gardens by Lyreflower, which is the current music project of Katie Jane Garside, who most people would know from Queen Adrena and Daisy Chainsaw. There were 400 of these pressed, and they were only available on pre-order, and it's a heavy, chunky record. So let's have a look at it. So there's the album on CD with a download code and handwritten lyric fragment. There's the download code if anyone would like it. See if we can get the lyric sheet on camera. So there it is. It really is tiny. So we've also got a book with some photos in and some lyrics. This is really nice. It's got some glassine paper in there with the lyrics on, loads of photos. It's nice. It's just on plain black vinyl. And just in the corner, it's been hand numbered and signed. I I've always been a big fan of Daisy Chainsaw and Queen Adrena. I saw Queen Adrena a bunch of times, and I got to interview Katie Jane Garside after they broke up. She's someone who I've always really admired and whose art I've always really liked. So when I saw the pre-orders for this, I had to grab one. So that's it for part one. Thank you for watching, all the people who made it this far. Drop me a like if you've enjoyed this, and I'll see you all in part two.